Let's talk about the fridge in the Winnebago Revel. It is a NovaCool R3100, and depending on how much cooling power is required, it can run on different speeds. However, the way Winnebago ships the fridge inside the Revel, there is no way to choose between different power modes. So I added that option. First, I have to empty the fridge. Luckily, mostly it is coffee and chocolate covered coffee beans. This might take a while. I will be back. And then I'm turning off the fridge by pulling fuse number 10. And I'm actually not 100% sure how to remove the fridge, but I'm guessing there are screws behind these tabs here. So if I remove them, these plugs, and then remove the Phillips screw behind it, there's 4 of them. Hopefully I'm able to just slide it out. I also think I have to remove the door, because if I don't, I can't get to these screws on the other side. Let me zoom in on the upper hinge pin here, because this is, I think, an 11mm bolt. I mean, NovaCool is a Canadian company, so I think it's all metric. Remove the door. Awesome. And with all 4 screws removed, hopefully I can just slide it out. Okay, no. I think it's free on the left side, but not quite on the right. I removed the upper vent, and then I can grab from behind and slide it forward. So it's a little dark and I didn't bring a light. Here are the 2 plus and minus power connectors. And then up here, I'm not sure you can see that, this is a steel cable, kind of a safety mechanism that ties the fridge to some anchor point on the floor. I cannot get the camera in, I'm sorry. But I guess that is so it doesn't slide out all the way if you crash your van into something. So now I have to remove the 2 power connectors and bring it out. I moved the fridge to my workbench. Hopefully it is a little easier for you to see and for me to work on. This shrink wrap thing here, this black one, this is the 500 ohm resistor. With it in place, the compressor runs on medium speed. And without it, with this cable directly connecting to the T terminal, the compressor will run on its lowest speed. So what I will do, instead of just removing the resistor, I will make it switchable. With the cable connected to here and here to either side of the resistor, I can put in a switch between the cables. With the switch closed, the cable will essentially act as a 0 ohm resistor and the compressor will run on its low speed setting. With the switch open, the 500 ohm resistor will be in the path and the compressor will run on medium speed, same way it comes from Winnebago. So let's install the switch. I'm going to replace this existing one. This is the one for the outside light, the one over the passenger door, and I'm going to replace it with the same style switch, but the 2-gang version. So I have 2 switches under the same faceplate. I just need to remove this existing one and then make the cutout a little bit bigger so the new one will fit in. So I have to take this one out. And then I make the hole a little bit bigger for a 2-gang switch. So I will just drill out the corners and then cut the rest with the multi-tool. And no, I did not drill into the drawer behind it. So this will get a little loud now. And just like that, there's enough space for the 2-gang switch. It is super hot outside, and even though my van is parked in the shade, it is still about 1,000,000 degrees inside of that thing. So I'm glad that I can do this delicate cable work inside of my workshop, which is also very hot, but not nearly as hot as the van. I'm using these crimp-on spade connectors in various sizes for that semi-professional look. I put it all back together, and let me quickly explain what I did. This cable here is the one that connects to either side of the resistor, which is this black one here. And the other side of the cable will connect to the switch that I installed in the cabinet. And if the switch is open, then, well, the resistor is in the path and the compressor will run at its medium speed. With the switch closed, there is a 0-ohm resistor, basically because this cable then bridges this resistor with 0 ohm, which means the compressor will run at its lowest speed. So this gives me the switch to control the compressor speed. Before I put the fridge back in, let me quickly show you the inside of the cabinet. So down here is where the power connector is, the one that connects to the fridge. And this is the safety cable that connects to the back of the fridge to keep it from, well, bumping out if you hit something with the van. And then these are the drain pipes for the fresh, or for the cold and hot water, and for the tank. This is where they connect to those quarter turn drain valves on the outside. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So first I need to route my additional cable, the new one, up to the switch. And then I need to attach the safety cable. This is very, very hard to film. There isn't much space in here. And now I need to connect it. I need to connect it back to power. All right. Okay, now I can move it back into position. Oops. So it took a little bit of wiggling, but it's finally back in. And now I just need to put those 4 screws back in. So put the door back on. This is really easy, I hope. Well, maybe not. It just sits in this pin at the bottom, and then the upper pin is this screw. This one. Wow. Well, of course, I now have to connect the cable to the switch. And I do that with 2 of these spade connectors. Great. Well, and now I can connect it to the back of the switch. Ta-da! So the white one is for the fridge. Black one is for the outside light. Let's talk about the results. Was it worth it? Maybe. Let me explain. The noise didn't really change that much between the night mode, the quiet mode, and the normal mode. And that is because even in the normal mode, the compressor is relatively quiet, and the most noise comes from this little fan that circulates the air behind the fridge. And the speed of the fan doesn't change whether it is in night mode or in day mode. So the compressor, for sure, you can hear it running slower when in night mode, but it doesn't really change the overall noise level that much. What did change significantly is the power consumption. When in normal mode, it draws about maybe 20 watts, 25 watts from each of the batteries, so a combined load of about 40 to 50 watts. And when in quiet mode, it drops down to only 13 watts per battery, or about 26 combined. I don't think over time the power consumption will change, because when it runs in normal mode, it will cool down more quickly, so the cycle time is a little higher. It is off for longer time, and then it kicks on at a higher compressor speed and a higher cooling load, so it can maintain the inside fridge temperature with a shorter run time. And when in night mode, to maintain the inside temperature of the fridge, it has to run longer. But that might be a good thing, because at night, at least for me, a constant sound white noise level is much more pleasant than the fridge kicking on and off all the time. So I think from that perspective, it was worth it. And really, adding that switch, it didn't cost a lot, and it didn't take away any of the original functionality. It just added this new mode. Whether I need it or not, or whether I use it or not, well, that I will decide over time. But it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Is that how it goes? Well, you get the point. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.